you doing today? It is spring at last. We had spring equinox yesterday, so this is kind of the first day when it's really spring. In this video we will do some cards very shortly, but first a quick look around the garden, because I know you guys like to see what's going on. And things growing is really what readings are all about, you know. People tend to want a reading when something's changing in their life, and that inevitably means that the person is going to grow one way or another. So let's take a look at nature's equivalent. First off, here is the new mini greenhouse. You might remember my greenhouse was destroyed in the winds a couple of weeks ago, and I've got a feeling if I replace it, it'll just get destroyed in the winds again. So I've got this small one, and it's tied to the wall with string so it can't blow away, I hope, fingers crossed. And right at the front here, pak choi lettuce, and these are growing so quickly. I only planted them I think less than a week ago. This is Sunday and I think I planted them on Tuesday, and goodness, they're coming up already. Yeah, so at the back there we've got some leeks. They're not doing anything yet, but I wouldn't really expect them to. And some cabbage there, that is Mozart F1 cabbage growing, and they came in the post, and I just stuck them in some compost to sort of get used to the world a bit before we do any more. And lower down we've got some more leeks, and lower down again I can't quite remember what's in those. I'm going to have to wait and see what grows, but some of it is beetroot, I think. Some of it is definitely peas anyway, mange 2 peas. Hey chicks. So here I am standing in what the greenhouse used to be. I decided to have another go at this. The frame in the last video of the garden, I think, was right over the other side. So yeah, behind me as I'm standing now against that line of trees in the background. And I managed to get it back here. It's quite difficult lifting it over things, but I got the frame back here, and I'm just going to try and patch up the canopy. It won't be all that good, but it'll be better than nothing. I haven't done it yet though, because we're due for some more wild winds in about a week and a half, something like that. There's quite a few things growing over there, which is really nice to see. I must admit they came in the post too, and I've sort of hardened them off and planted them in the ground now. But let's see what we got there. We got calabrese, in other words broccoli, and in the middle we've got cabbage. Can't remember what kind of cabbage that is. And at the back, what is that? That's cauliflower, actually, cauliflower. So I hope they make it. There's 10 of each there. And they look pretty healthy so far, which is good. Still got the leeks from last year still there down the middle. Hope they're going to grow on a bit this year. And over this side, 3 rows of potatoes, and they haven't started growing yet. Or maybe they probably have started growing under the soil, but I'm not seeing them. Over here, more leeks from last year. And some kale that's bolted completely, and that'll have to come out and go in the compost. And various junk over there that I'm sorting through. The big patch of soil in the background there, that is Jerusalem artichokes that came in the post. So I got them planted, put tons of soil on top of them, and we will see what happens. Carrots and more artichokes over here. And look at this. Got 3 rhubarb plants here. This one's not doing very well at all. This one's doing pretty good, actually. And this one's doing amazing. It's like tripled in size in the last week. And it's funny because I got them all from the same place. And they're all the same kind of rhubarb as well. And Marcy thinks quite a lot of that. There's some rhubarb I've had going for years, and that's really come into life now. So what is on the cards today, I hear you ask? Going to do a 5-card pick a card reading, and we're going to use Tarot of the Sephiroth, which is, I don't always use this one, but it's proving very popular at the moment. It's quite elderly, this deck, and I can't find it for sale online anywhere, but there you go, it all adds to the mystery, doesn't it? And we'll start off with a significatory card from Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light. Let's see what we've got here. By the way, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're enjoying these videos, and give me a thumbs up as well. That helps the channel no end. If you like and subscribe, it really does. More videos come in all the time, and more live sessions as well. It's Sunday right now, so I'm going to be doing a live stream later on tonight. I'll post this video up tomorrow. It takes so long to post videos from here, it really does. But anyway, let's have a shuffle here and see what we get for our significatory card of the day. It is Lord Shiva, and it's transcendence. So that's going to be the nature of this pick a card reading, and I guess that the questions this is going to be answering for you guys have to do with rising above something, getting through something. In other words, not letting the way things are right now today affect the rest of your life in any kind of negative way, but finding the benefits. It says on this card, transcendence, rise up, honour your inner force, steps are being given, dance with the universe. And that's the key to it, guys. Steps are being given. And everything that goes on in our lives, whether it sort of feels positive or negative, is given somehow by the universe. It's either something beneficial or it's a learning experience, whatever is going on. And then if you take that attitude, that really, really helps you transcend whatever might be bringing you down in life at any given moment. So that's our significator. That's kind of the nature of this reading. But I'm not going to hold a particular intention for this reading, okay? I know you all kind of come to these videos with your own questions, and the whole point of a pick a card reading is that you use your own psychic senses to pick a card that actually says something for you and does something for you too. So, if I can just stop dropping them for a moment. Right, there's the first 3, 4, 5. And we'll see what we've got. Okay, first of all, we'll see the back of what we've got. And the question is, let's just fan them all out here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I learned to count one day. Okay, right, there we go. That's the top 5. They were sticking together a bit, but I finally got there. Okay. So how are we going to do this? Let me fan them out, right? And I want you guys to pick a card, or maybe pick 2, 3, 4, or all 5 if you want. You know, I'll do it like it's a 5-card reading, and that's often a very good way to go about it, actually, because the more cards you pick, the more precise the actual message that you end up getting is. So card number 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick a card, pick all 5, whatever you want to do, guys. That's how it always rolls on this channel. And first card is the 4 of Wands. So there's going to be an event. Maybe an event has already happened, because it's different strokes for different folks. But this is an event. And if this is an upcoming event, it's really going to be important to kind of be on your best behaviour. Really, to be at your best in every way you possibly can be. Because this is an important event. It's a turning point, really. 4, of course, is the angel number. So you can kind of draw in angelic help if you want. That's always a good thing to do. Ask your angels, ask the angels. They're there, they're willing to help always, absolutely always, but they can't step in and help unless you actually ask them to, because it's all about free will. And that has a lot to do with the whole message of the 4 of Wands, because the 4 of Wands, you know, trying to give of the best of yourself and trying to get other people to give of the best of themselves as well. That's really what it's all about when you call the angels in, because we ask them for help, but it's to get our lives into a situation, get ourselves facing the right way, if you like, so that better things can keep on coming in. There's a flow of abundance, absolutely always, and that's what this one is about. So, card number 1 there. Pop that down to one side. Card number 2 is this one. Did you pick card number 2, friends? If you did, and well, whether you picked it or not, this is card number 2, let's face it. And we've got major arcana here. This is number 11, and it is the Justice card. Now, Justice is quite an old way of expressing really the whole meaning of this card is about balance. That's really what it's all about. And I suppose that's what justice is about too. You know, whenever you think of a court case or something like that, you imagine the scales of justice hanging there evenly balanced. A lot of courthouses have the scales of justice over them. The Supreme Court in UK here has that too. And it is actually all about balance. But again, different strokes for different folks. If you're looking at legal matters at the moment and you picked card number 2, then things are going to come into balance. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be 100% in your favour, but it's looking pretty good for you if you picked this card and you've got some kind of legal case going on at the moment. I can never promise these things, by the way. This is for entertainment purposes only. I hate to say that because I totally believe in the reality of this. I've been consulting the tarot about my own life for, oh gosh, 30 odd years. God, more than, blimey, I'm so old. Gosh, I don't even like to think about that. But since I had long flowing hair and was young, that's how long I've been using the tarot, and I totally get it. But can't make any total promises here, particularly because these readings are for so many different people, you know. But that's what the tarot is all about. Somehow the spirit guides work to bring us together, and they already know what card you're going to pick. You know, if you're learning to read cards at the moment, that's one worth remembering. They know when you're going to read, who you're going to read for, and which cards are going to come up, like years, maybe decades even, before it even happens. It's all part of the great plan of life that we sign up to before we come to this world. And this card, the Justice card, is really pointing to that lifelong kind of plan that we're all going through, because whatever's happening, ups or downs or just things coming into balance, it's all part of that life plan. It's always been meant to be this way. And this reminds me of an old Doreen Virtue saying, "You are perfect, whole and complete, and you do not need to add anything to yourself or take anything away from yourself to experience your true spiritual power and to make the best of your life." Because even if things are pretty bad at the moment, and I hope things are good for you guys, but let's be realistic, things aren't good for everyone. If things aren't good at the moment, that's still the way it's meant to be right now. But you are actually slowly moving towards making things better, especially if you pick this card, the Justice card. It's number 11 in the major arcana. So in numerology terms, it's kind of, you've got to get to the next stage. You know, this is like the beginning of the next part of your journey. And that's why things can turn around. That's why things can be different. So what have we for card number 3? This is the heart of the matter because it's the middle one of the 5-card reading, and I can already see it. It is actually number 3. It's the Empress. And the Empress is really a lot to do with manifestation. You know, the Emperor and the Empress both work together. Card number 4 is the Emperor. And they really are a double act. They really do both get involved in making things happen. But the Emperor is more about like making the most of resources, making resources last. The Empress is all about manifesting those resources and actually becoming aware of what you've got available to you in your life at the moment anyway. You know, she knows all about what's going on in nature. Everything I'm doing in my garden here is, I tend to think of it as the goddess energy, and that really is what the Empress is all about. You can see she's in a very natural scene here. Let me turn it round and look at this. Yeah, she's standing in a river, characterizing the flow of abundance. You know, now the Emperor tends to want to stock things up, to store things up, even to hoard things a little bit so that there's enough to actually get us through. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we get times of abundance, we get times of less abundance, shall we say, going on. That is the nature of life. But if you don't actually use up the resources that come in, sooner or later the energy becomes blocked, and that blocks the flow of abundance. So you can kind of hoard things up a little bit too much. The Empress is saying nature is absolutely full of abundance, very, very abundant thing, in fact. So if you actually use up the resources you've got, if you actually make the most of living in the moment, then not only will you transcend, like we saw in Krishna, the significatory card, you'll also allow new resources to come in. So don't hoard it up, guys. Okay, the trees have been hoarding their energy behind me there, but they've hoarded up just enough energy so that when spring comes they can start growing and using up that energy, and there'll be sun and there'll be rain, and they will keep on going and growing. Some of those trees, I mean, they're not all that big, those ones behind me, but some of the trees around this area are kind of well over 100 years old, and they stood up through wind and rain and everything. So we can get through, guys, and the resources are there for us to get through, and the resources are all really based in nature. And even if you live in a place where you don't have regular open access to nature the way I'm blessed with it here, then the place you're living in is actually built on top of soil. If you go right down under the concrete, there is actually nature there, and it's not your fault it's all been concreted over. Okay, so in karmic terms, you can ground yourself and visualize those roots going down into the earth, and hold the intention of really working with all the magic of the earth. That's card number 3. And that's the heart of the matter. So now we're looking towards the future as we go into 4 and 5. And we've got the 10 of Wands here. This is card number 4. And the star sign associated with this, Sagittarius. See, we've got the arrow of Sagittarius down at the bottom there. And up at the top, we've got the symbol for Saturn. All these cards relate to astrology. I'll go back through them actually, because I didn't do that with the first 3, did I? Naughty, naughty. So look at that at the end. But this is Sagittarian energy, and this is the next step forward, really. Wands are about what you're actually going to get done. What you're going to sort of make happen in your life as you go forward. And we're always going forward, even if we feel we're taking many steps back. And you know, life is like that somewhere. Each new day, even if you take a step back, it is a new day. And so in terms of your whole life and the plan of your whole life, and there is one, guys, we've all got a plan, we've all got a mission. In those terms, you have actually moved forward, because you're always going to have to take those steps back to actually be able to get anywhere. So progress is going on, whatever happens. You know, it's like when my greenhouse blew down the other week. Total waste of time and effort, and really quite frustrating. But when I seriously think about it, that was always going to happen, and I've got over that bit now. I haven't quite got over it because I haven't rebuilt the greenhouse yet, but I've got my seeds growing, I've got the garden coming to life. So even though that was a big step back, I took a step forward because I had to go through that experience. 10 of Wands, big steps forward actually, and there's a feeling of completion whenever we get the number 10 coming up in tarot or in numerology or anyway. This is actually a very fiery card when we look at it. The Wands here are more like clubs, so you might have to go out and kind of, you know, knock the world around a bit to put it into order and make it function your way. But then again, let me just go back to the Krishna card here. Lord Shiva, because of course I associate him with the Bhagavad Gita and Lord Krishna, but Lord Shiva, transcendence, that's what it's all about, you know. Sometimes you have to kind of manipulate the world around you to get things to happen, and I don't mean like manipulate people in a nasty way, or manipulate anything in a nasty way, but, you know, as human beings we are capable of that, and when we get manipulative people around us who try and manipulate in a less helpful way, that is because they're not using that manipulative ability on anything positive. And really the positive ways of manipulation are just using the world around you, transcending the status quo, the way the situation is, by actually using that ability to change things. You know, that's the positive side of it. But 10 of Wands there, card number 4. So guys, it looks like you've got a fair bit done already if you chose this card. If not, it's coming into being, and then you've got to think what comes next. Because even though it's the number 10 of completion, life has a story, and there is always a journey going on in life. So something is going to come next, absolutely for sure. And it's like if you get into a relationship, you know, and it's a really good relationship. It's like, what do you do next? The whole point of being in a good relationship is where it takes you as a couple, as a member of a couple, what it does for you, where you're actually going to go, how you're going to function. That's really important to think about. That makes for good relationships. It really does. Anyway, okay, card number 5. Here we have it. It's Major Arcana again, and this time it's Temperance. So a bit like the Empress card, actually. really. And a bit like Lord Shiva in his talk about transcendence there, this is actually about bringing things into balance. Goes right back to the Justice card at the very beginning as well. It's number 14 in the major arcana, and this really shows moving on from the 10 of completion that we just had in the 10 of wands. This is the way forward, big style. And temperance, in so many ways, it's all about balance, you know, and it's kind of a very magical sort of a balance. In the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck that so many of us know and love, the character in the card is pouring water, and the water is flowing diagonally, and that is physically impossible. Water always wants to go down unless you've got it in a hose pipe or something, but she hasn't, you know. And in this case she's pouring the water, but it isn't actually going straight down. It's making a kind of, the way water naturally does, it's making a bit of a curve on the way down. And that's the first hint of what's really important here, because there is some magic just in that, just in the fact that water pours out in a curved shape, when really everything about science says the water should go straight down. So science definitely doesn't have all the answers. And this is number 5. It's the outcome card. So it does say there's a lot more of the journey to come. But this, friends, is a time of balance, of bringing positive things into being. And the best way to do that is to have things as balanced as you can in the beginning, in the first moment of it. And balance is yet another kind of alchemy, really, because it's something that when you have balance, other things happen that couldn't happen otherwise. That's the great thing. So alchemy, what's that all about? It's about transcendence. I'm coming back to Lord Shiva again, and we've got Marcy the cat joining us at this point as well. So it's all about transcending the situation that you're in at the moment. And if you've looked at this reading because you were worried about something, friends, you've seen in the cards, it is going to pass, you know, things are going to improve. As I say, sometimes we only really take steps forward by taking steps back. Let's just take a step up for Marcy here. She never wants to look at the camera. Go and have a look. There she is. Okay, baby. There you go. Yes, I've forgotten what I was saying now. This is what happens with cats. But yeah, Lord Shiva, transcendence, rise up, honour your inner force, steps are being given. Dance with the universe, okay? Steps are being given. And when we go through setbacks, it's to teach us something. And we are given all the things that we actually need to learn. We don't just get given the answers. We have to find those out for ourselves. But I hope the reading here today has helped you a bit towards finding those answers. But Shiva, transcendence, that's, I'm just taking a quick photo for the thumbnail there. And I think I've got that now. So guys, with that, let's wrap this one up. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks so much for all your support, guys. If you'd like to buy me or buy the channel a coffee, that is ko-fi.com/Andy's Readings. There's a link to it down below there. And big thanks to everyone who's been sending me coffees, actually, because it makes a big difference. It's lovely to feel appreciated, and it also helps with stuff like equipment. You know, that's not really your problem, is it? But it would be a problem for me, because you know, if people didn't sometimes contribute. For example, I just started a new setup for the live streams. It works really well, get really beautiful, clear images. The only thing was I had to buy a microphone for it, and it wasn't a cheap microphone. It's like the most expensive microphone I've ever bought, actually. So the coffee donations really help with things like that. If you'd like a private reading, hit me up 35and83@gmail.com. My email is down there as well. I've got to say it again, guys, for entertainment purposes only, YouTube. You know, I don't like saying that, but it's not even exactly the law, but it's like the YouTube law, so I've kind of got to say it there. But you and I know, I mean, if you're drawn to tarot readings and if you're drawn to videos like this, I guess you understand the magic. If you don't really if you're new to this, or if you're just kind of wondering and you don't really believe or disbelieve yet, God bless you. Thanks so much for looking. And thanks everyone so much for watching. I'll be back again very soon, live every Sunday and every Wednesday. That's evening time UK. At the moment I'm looking at 9 PM UK time to start those. That would normally be 3 PM Central USA, but for another week, until 1 week today, In other words, next Wednesday, tonight's Sunday live and next Wednesday's live session. We are actually not on daylight saving time in UK just yet. So that is going to be, let me see, 4 p.m. Central Time. Basically, that's when I'm going to be going live. And do come in on the lives, by the way, guys. The energy is fantastic. So many people, I'm blessed with so many people watching these videos who are actually pretty gifted spiritual practitioners themselves. I do a little bit of teaching myself. That's also something that's going on. Let me know if you're interested in that, and we'll see what we can fix up. But anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. Thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the coffee button, and you can look at some sort of pictures of what's going on in my life. And I'll see you again very soon in a future video. Love and light and blessings and peace.